Excuse my entire house here.
It's only 2 people.
No, because I'm sure you can hear the other two upstairs being loud.
Usually I just saw the dog in frame.
That's all right.
So for those of you that like frequently communicate with fellow soap makers, like I do, you understand this pain. When you go to your inbox and you need to search for someone or you need to email someone, so you're in a box typing, their email, and it starts with soap, like realistically all of ours do. It becomes really complicated because the suggestions come up and they're like 75,000 pages long. And that's a lot. And that's what I just experienced actually, because I was searching for a specific email regarding this soap maker. And I went to go type soap. Every communication I've had with a person that has soap in their business name came up. So there's that. This particular soap maker is one of my favorite people on the planet. I know I keep saying that, and it keeps being true. And I'm very, very excited to showcase her beautiful soap and what she decided to do for Solstice. I will tell you all about this soap maker and her not so typical soapy things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 7. Of year 3, and the first of the Sudser winner submissions for the Project Soapway Solstice Challenge. I got to see mine yesterday, and it was kind of a disaster in pretty perfect ways, if I'm being honest, because it's fitting, really. And today we are starting off again, as I said, with the Sudser submissions, specifically the ones that were picked by the jury. Now, should this be your first Project Soapway, video, and you're not sure how this all works out, let me tell you, probably not in a concise way. So Project Soapway is a challenge series that I wanted to really focus a lot of year 3 on, in that the Sudsers are given a challenge topic, and then they submit their photos of the soap that they have made for, said challenge. And then my moderator on Discord or my admins, in the business or whatnot, then compile all of the pictures, just the pictures, no names of the soapers attached to them, and then give them to me and a jury panel, and we vote on which 3 are going to win any particular challenge. So again, it's a complete blind vote from me. I have no idea who is actually submitting. And I don't know whose soap has won until, we make the announcements to the winners. And at that point, they then send their footage on to me, and I edit it and talk about it, and we get to see their process of making the soapy things. And so that's, Project Soapway in a nutshell. And today's winner of the Solstice Challenge is not so typical. Miss A is the owner, founder, soap maker extraordinaire of Not So Typical. And she is actually, again, as I said, one of my favorite people on the planet, but she approaches the soap making world in a very, very cool way. She actually only started making soaps at the beginning of this year, which is so cool to think about with so many of the Sudsers. This soap making world that so many of us, like myself, have been doing forever and ever. Seeing the new people come onto the scene and start making soap, but not only just start making soap, they hit the ground running. It's so incredible and they become fearless and awesome with their craft, in large part because of the community they have found within the sudsers. Like there's acceptance and actual instruction and no judgment, and people are just kind and thoughtful with their approaches to the soap making process and happy to, help and share the things. And so while that's amazing for all of the sudsers that have just, recently started making soap, either as a hobby or as a business, Miss A had a secondary challenge in all of this in that she needed to keep her soaps coconut oil free because of allergies. And I can count on one finger, really, the number of times that I have made a coconut-free soap on this channel. And so while it's cool that she's been a sudser for as long as she has, because she's been a sudser for a long time, I haven't really provided a whole lot of help for her in this coconut oil substitution, through my videos. And so she got to take on the world of soap making with an added challenge of removing the easiest oil, the easiest and cheapest oil to get a big bubble. And so she has been unbelievably awesome with doing this in her craft, and I am super glad that we get to look at one of her soaps for this particular challenge. I think she left a recipe in there, but I don't think I'm giving it to you, so you guys will definitely need to hit her up if you're interested. But anyway, Miss A, not so typical. She's an incredible soap maker. I'm very, very excited to watch her footage, showcase her product, and continue to gush over how great she is at the not so typical soapy things. So let's get to the video and we can watch her very first ever filming of making her craft, now. Okay, so today, not so typical soaps, Miss A. And you remember how in my, Solstice soap, I was saying that I don't know why I was doing what I was doing? Oh yeah, also that's her recipe. She's very kindly shared it with me, but I wasn't given permission to share it with the world, so I didn't do that. So if you want it and she is so inclined, you're going to have to reach out to her. And also she's doing a nice heat transfer here to melt down her solids in this recipe. And that's awesome. But the little Pyrex there with the white chunks and the blue stuff? Yeah, when I said I didn't know what I was doing with mine and why I had the clear melt and pour hanging out in there in strange ways, well, I forgot that one of the actual other parameters I put on this challenge was that you needed to make it a hybrid soap. And I was reminded about that when Miss A said that this was her first hybrid. And that was the reason why I put mine in there. And so she has never done a hybrid soap before. And so she's doing the thing with her melt and pour there, and her colors are blue and white to represent the frigid, icy, cold winter that is Michigan, which is where Miss A and Not So Typical Soaps, hail from, Michigan. And it's very, very cold there right now. It's very, very cold everywhere right now. Holy crap. There's like the weather be weathering like crazy. And so I think this soap is completely fitting for a solstice soap, December 21st, shortest day of the year, shortest daylight, And this is going to be very indicative, I think, of what you would experience in Michigan on December 21st. And so I like it. Again, like going back to mine, technically the weird brown and whatever that was in that one is what I would experience in Colorado on December 21st. And also what I experienced in Washington State IRL this year, because it was, well, very, very cold and icy. We are literally snowed in right now. And it's not like we have a bunch of snow we're snowed in. We got a little bit of snow, turned immediately to ice. The temperatures have been no higher than like 25 degrees in the last couple days. Everything's just frozen solid, and so there's just no leaving the house, really, because Washington State doesn't actually have the infrastructure to make sure the roads stay scraped and safe. So there's that. But yes, Miss A's soap. So Miss A, actually, it feels like she's been a sudser for a really long time, but she has only started doing the soapy things this year, like the beginning of this year. And I love seeing that with all of these sudsers. So many sudsers are just like brand new to the craft. And it's amazing how fearless they become. And, Miss A obviously included in that list. So on to the pour, and oh, so she has a silicone mat on the bottom to make an impression. So she's doing an impression mat pour, which would realistically mean, unless she's doing something to the top as well, that she would be building this and then the whole loaf would be flipped over, which actually is something that I don't think I've ever shown you guys a whole lot. The whole building it and then like the bottom of the bar, the first thing that you pour being the top of the soap. But a lot of soap makers do it that way. And in all honesty, there's a lot of benefits to doing it that way because you have the nice finished top because it's the thing that's been in contact with the silicone or, you know, your molds. So it's going to be, you know, less to clean up than the top of the soap when you're pouring because that usually needs a little bit of work, you know? So it's a great idea, but it looks like that's exactly what she's doing. And we have the melt and pour going in here in basically the middle of the soap. So she's poured about half of her batch into the soap there. Oh, and she's going to do a mica line, a glittery mica line using the little fairy dusters from, you know, Mad Micas or whatever. And I hate those things so very hard. So good on her for actually attempting them because they're a lot. Those things are so tedious and a lot. So good job laying down that mica line for sure. And it looks like with this soap, she did fresh snow from Brambleberry for the scent, which totally makes sense. Fresh snow, Michigan, winter, December 21st, solstice. It's amazing. You know what else is amazing? In doing all of this footage, and I left this in intentionally because I wanted you to check out how cool that tattoo is. Look at how amazing that tat is. So many sudsers have like the coolest tattoos that I see, you know, just pieces of or whatever when I'm filming this footage, and I'm just blown away. Like how awesome all of your ink is. And I appreciate a strong ink game and, you know, think we should celebrate it more often because tattoos are cool. So, you know, there's that. Then we have a second area of the melt and pour on the top here, which is really cool and fun. And she's going to go with the mica line again. Wow. Such dedication with this guy. Now, remember with Miss A, as I said, she does not do coconut oil in any of her soaps because she has an allergy. And that's a very interesting allergy to work around. Coconut oil, as we talked about in one of the videos where I did a coconut oil-free soap, allergies to coconut oil, very, very rare. But, well, you know, when you eat it, still rare when you actually have it, you know, on your skin, but a thing. And so that makes it really hard because coconut oil is used in so many products. Obviously the products that you ingest, but for sure the products that you use, your shampoos, your conditioners, your lotions, your soaps. And so her working her way through that problem, you know, being a soap maker that needs to not use coconut oil because allergies, and being a sudser is so wild because I don't do a lot with no coconut oil. So she's been really self-taught in a whole lot of this, and she has become, in the sudser community on Discord, the person we go to when we start asking about coconut oil-free products. Because she's done the research, she's laid all of her groundwork, and she's become our resident expert. And I love that. I love that the community that we have, even though they've only been doing it, let's say in the case of Miss A, she's only been doing soap making for this year. Well, that doesn't mean that she's not a subject matter expert in coconut oil substitutions, because this is literally all she makes, and she takes all of her research and everything quite seriously. And so I love to see when somebody has a skill set that maybe I don't have or maybe I can't contribute to, they do their thing and they help out the other sudsers, and nobody looks at them and goes, oh, well, you're a baby soaper, so what the hell do you know? No, that's not how this stuff works. If you're good at something and you know something and you're willing to share that information, then that's awesome. And that's what the sudser community is. And Miss A is just so very helpful and informative with all of the sudsers in that regard. This right here is salt that she's also adding to it, which I thought was a really smart touch. The salt, because, you know, in the wintertime, you have that salt on the roads that likes to tear up your car and all the jazz, but it keeps your tires from flying off the road and, you know, you ending up in a ditch. So it's good. I thought that was a really smart addition, actually, to a winter solstice soap. And this is her using all the soap batter for other variations of this particular bar. which I really enjoy and like and left in intentionally because I've been getting and seeing a lot of comments about how people get big mad. Like, I don't like when Anne Marie doesn't use all the soap batter that's in the pot, or Mrs. Soap and Clay never scrapes her Pyrex. Yeah, we all do as soap makers. Like, we literally all do it. We just don't put all of everything that we, film in a video. Because that part of scraping out all the Pyrex and doing all the extra stuff with the soap, it can get tedious, and it's probably not the point of the video. In this case, actually, this is kind of the point of the video, though, because this was one of the soaps, the one that's here in this little blue silicone that she submitted in the picture. And so we're going to show both. But yeah, I absolutely adore Miss A and Not So Typical Soaps and the really thoughtful, very logical approach that she has had to her soap making. And also just a very rational, human being in general, and just a very calming force, which I love. Back at the beginning of the year, I want to say, or maybe sometime in the summer, we started doing Zoom calls with the Discord members. And we did a couple of them, and Miss A was there, and I loved it. I loved her being there. I loved just the banter and the real community that we had with the, OG Sudsers that would show up for these Zoom calls. And it became really, really something that I looked forward to a whole lot, but I had to sort of stop that because I was going through some pretty big treatments with my whole, thing. And I don't know, I didn't want to be a downer with any of it. And I was real sick and people would ask questions and I didn't want them to worry about me. So I had to stop them, but we should start them up again. But all that to say that, Miss A was there. And again, very, very calming force, very, very logical, no nonsense, human, and was a delightful addition to all of the Zoom calls. And I don't know. I love her. I love her. One of my favorite humans for sure. Now, we don't actually get a cut footage from this because Miss A forgot to film that. Again, this was her first ever filming experience, which is awesome. But that is the bar that comes from the blue silicone mold. Isn't that cute? I love the detail on that mold for sure. Be interested to know where she got that bad boy because it's gorgeous. And then that is the bottom of the soap loaf that she made, with the impression mat. So that's what that looks like. And then we have some of the most beautiful hybrid soaps. Like, that is melt and pour going on with there. That's a gorgeous drop swirl for melt and pour. Are you kidding me? That's phenomenal. I can't get my cold process drop swirls to look that beautiful. Well done. 10 out of 10, Miss A. And again, coconut oil free. All of it. It's incredible. And there it is, the not so typical Miss A's submission for Project Soapway Challenge number 3, Solstice. And I love her take on this. I thought it was very thoughtful, very cool, had the nice colors that I think I was kind of just really drawn to in the selection anyway. So yay. And yeah, it's a very cool, batch of soap. Now, admittedly, we didn't get the cut, but that's okay. We can work around that because she has pictures of all of the things for sure. And as I said, this was her first time ever recording her making soap. And so just stepping outside of that comfort zone right there, like I've never filmed while I'm making soap and I'm also a new soap maker. She took it in stride and you wouldn't even realize that maybe she was a little nervous throughout all of that. And forgetting to film the, cut, that's a completely understandable thing. I have done that a time or 20 in these videos and have just sort of shown you the soaps at the end. So I get it for sure. But yeah, to all of it, well done. Well done. That recipe, very, very cool actually. I went ahead and made the recipe after I saw it in this footage and I'm interested to test the lather on it because I just made it. But while I have zero problem giving out my own recipes, I don't feel comfy giving out other people's. So if you want it, you're definitely going to have to hit up Miss A. For sure. But that recipe is actually very cool, and it's doubly cool when you know that the thought that has to go into that because of an allergy is arguably a lot harder than what I have to do in thinking about what oils that I can use for my products. So it's very, very impressive. I'm incredibly glad that she won a soap challenge and I get to showcase her. And actually, because of all of her skills in making the coconut oil free soaps, we will actually be doing a challenge very, very soon involving a recipe. So in that case, we will be giving the recipe out that is coconut oil free batch of soap. So look forward to that in a future Project Soapway, for sure. It's there. We just haven't announced it yet. Speaking of announcements, I will be announcing to the members the winner of the challenge that just ended yesterday. So be on the lookout for that in the Discord. Thank you for everybody who submitted. That was super awesome. All of your submissions were amazing. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a really epic, week before Christmas, days before Christmas season time. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with all the family. We have been snowed in. So, again, careful what you wish for. And this week we basically just been, playing VR and snuggling on the couch and drinking eggnog hot cocoa, by the way. Eggnog hot cocoa. You guys should try it. But before you go down to the comment section and ask me about eggnog hot cocoa, make sure to go down to the comment section. Tell Miss A what a great job she did. Go follow the Not So Typical Soapy Things, or Not So Typical, on all social media outlets, everywhere you can find her. Maybe head over to her website, see if this one's up, see if, there's anything left in stock. Maybe don't do that until after the holiday. Actually, don't make her ship something a couple days before Christmas. Seems a bit mean. But yeah, definitely. Thank you guys all for being here, for being part of Project Soapway, for being part of the Sudzer community, for being a part of my life, and for being awesome Sudzers, human beings, and showing Miss A all of the love that she deserves. I'm out of here because actually we're playing a VR game, an escape room VR game that is just running through my mind right now. It's kind of all I can think about. So I'm going to go see if we can figure out one of these puzzles and, escape from the church that we're currently in. Kind of scary. So there's that. Yes. Again, thank you guys all for being here, for joining, for all the things. I've already said that, but I'm going to go. I already said that too. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for the next submission of the Project Soapway Solstice Challenge. So be fun. Bye.